Hey guys, this is our listing presentation, and it's specifically the portion of the listing presentation that is about how we get houses sold, okay? And so I'm going to go through it as if I was going through it with someone at their house, okay? So when we talk about selling your house and how we are going to get it sold, we really want to focus on really where the buyers come from. And so the National Association of Realtors checks every year with buyers with a huge survey to figure out where they first found their home. And here's the statistics that we find. And so where buyers come from is 51% actually come from the internet. Now this is data from 2016. When 2017 data comes out, we'll have that to you as well. But that number keeps increasing. And then after that, 34% is real estate agents. That's like if I'm sending you houses online, and then we go and look at a house, one that I recommend or refer to. So next would be a yard sign, open house signs. Honestly, I don't see much of this, but there are still people that drive through the neighborhood and pick their house based upon the neighborhood that they drive through. Next is a friend or a relative or a neighbor with 4%. And then after that, it's either minimal or doesn't even apply to us. So 1% is directly someone that you know. So there's nothing I can do to actually make that happen, but you can. Then there's 1% that's print, newspaper advertisement. Honestly, I'd say it's less than that. And in this market, because things sell so quickly, that 1% isn't even valid in this market. Because by the time it goes to publications and printing, it's already sold typically. And then lastly is 2% from home builder or their agent. So this is not a brand new home, so this wouldn't apply to us. So I wanted us to go ahead and go through this and just piece by piece. So if we focus on just the 51%, there's some things, now I'm going to pause and say there's some things that I put in my presentation here that are should be standard for all agents across the board when someone's listing your home, but that's actually not the case, and so I still put that in here, these things in here. So number one would be that we syndicate your house on all the major websites and beyond that. So we do that to reach that 51%. Next, what we do is we actually create a specific page, a specific landing page for your home, and there we can actually add more content in there, more material about what your house is about, more pictures, more virtual tour content, and whatnot. And the cool thing about this is when we direct them to that website. That website is just your house, so they're not going to go click on any other websites. They're going to just focus on your house alone. In that, it also has a call to action, which means it gives them the ability to actually go and view your home. And so they fill out a little form, and it gets their information over to us, and then we immediately respond back to them to try to book an appointment to get them to see your home. Now, the main thing we use this for, which we'll talk later, is Facebook ad campaigns, as well as organically and paid ad campaigns, as well as just to be able to process the leads that we get from your house. Second thing, to reach that 51% on the internet, is professional photography. Again, this is something that should be standard, but that is not. And so when we talk about what's the most important thing in a buyer's mind, or what draws them to a certain house or not, the first thing is the price. It's the most important. But then the second is the photos. And the photos speak so many words. And so these are photos. This is a photo we took off that is not a very good photo, and is not a professional photos. So we want to bring in like this one and make it professional, make it pop out and stand out like if it was in a magazine. Here we don't want to look at, for me, my eye draws to all this furniture, and I don't like that. I want it to be open and aerated and showcase the house itself and not necessarily the furniture that's in it. Then we also want to change things, and we'll discuss and guide you through. We'll walk through the home and look at it, and I'll give you tips and pointers. Now, I hope when in a standard that we have is that we are open and honest in our communication, and that we build trust. So anything I say to you, I hope is not to offend you or hurt you or any way, but it's actually to help sell the house. Because honestly, we're entering into a business transaction, not a personal one-on-one relationship. And so I'm going to tell you the truth about anything to get your house sold. So one is, when we go to sell your house, it's almost as if like it's hard for you to live in that house. So I would say 99% of the people have their countertops look like this, where they have stuff that they actively use on the countertops. Unfortunately, when we go to sell the house, we have to showcase it as if it is like something in a magazine, and as if you're not living there. And so if you see on this picture here, we minimize the amount of stuff that's on the countertops. So the couple big things is everything clean, decluttered, and depersonalized. So we get rid of, unfortunately, all religious material, anything, most things showing signs of babies, like toys in the living room, or pets as well. Okay, next, what we want to do is social media campaigns. So again, like I said, we do this organically, and we do it by pay-per-click advertising. One cool, awesome thing that's kind of crazy and interesting is we can actually figure out what the demographic of your neighborhood or the people who would actually buy your home would be. So in doing that, we can then directly target and campaign our ads on Facebook to those individuals specifically, so that when I pay for 200 views or 250 views and clicks per day on your home, it's going to be actual legitimate people who could potentially purchase it or would actually be desired to purchase it. Next, what we do to reach on the internet, we're still on the internet sector, is we want to reach those people from out of state that are coming in state. So based on the news today, this was an article written in 2015 or 2016, sorry, where it says NWA grew by more than 31 people per day. So we're having 31 people net coming from out of state in state. And so in order to reach those people, like, say if they're coming to work with Walmart or Tyson, right? And they don't have a whole lot of time to actually go and view houses, right? And they want to prepare and view of where they're at in Michigan or Oklahoma or whatnot. And so the way we do that is we do what's called a virtual tour, but it's a real virtual tour. Some virtual tours out there are just a slideshow of pictures, and I don't like that. But this is something we pay for to allow someone to literally walk through your home as if they are actually here. So in Michigan, they can still walk through your home, because pictures say 1,000 words, right? But they don't tell you how it's all laid out in a home. They don't tell you really the way the space feels when you're walking through it. And so this actually gives them that ability. So this is a video of me actually using the system and looking through this home that we sold. And so another thing that's really important that I have gotten is engineers communicating to me, telling me how, man, it would be so good if, one, we get the room of the size of the rooms and be able to really see kind of like an aerial photo or a floor plan of it. And so as you saw earlier, and you'll see later on, this actually allows you to see the floor plan, and you can look right here. You can see the entire home, and so you can see that, oh, this is the living room area. This is the master bedroom quarters, and here's the bedrooms over there. So that's very important for anyone from out of state coming in state. The second important thing that's really good is for the people. This is good for the people that are actually here. So when a buyer's agent sends our house, your house, to their buyers and they look at it online, they're able to click on this link, find your home, view it, and then when they schedule a viewing or a showing to your home, then we know that they're very sure about your home. They just want to actually verify what they saw online is really what is actually true. And so that maybe shrinks the amount of showings that we actually get to people going through your home, but it makes them more qualified, more realistic of actually coming to purchase your home, okay? Next, what we do is to reach the agents, really. So it's really important for us to make sure that, we get all the invisible qualities about your home become visible. So like you were telling me about the kitchen, that the fridge will stay, or that you guys had replaced the roof in 2016, or any of these different factors. We want that to become visible to the buyers, and we do that through a lot of data information that we get from you, and then we give it to not only the buyer but the agent as well. It's pretty funny how subjective buying a home actually is. And so a buyer's agent's feelings about your home specifically will have a big correlative impact on how the buyer feels about that home. So not only do we want the buyer to say yes to your home, we want that agent to say yes. And how we do that is we give them a bunch of content and a bunch of information and make their job as easy as possible. And the first way we do that is by gathering a lot of information from you. So in this consultation, after we get the listing agreement and we start working through the process, we'll have a huge question and answer thing that we need to get from you. And what that will do is give us information specifically about the home, things you've upgraded on, things that you've had repair or replace, as well as about the neighborhood. What do you like most about the neighborhood? What are the greatest amenities? What's great about living in this location specifically? Then we go on to financials. So we don't tell them anything financially about you, but we actually break down, okay, if we sell your house for X amount, this is how much it's going to cost you per month, okay? Because really that's the most important thing. And then we just give that information to that agent. That way when they walk through your home, they're going to have two things that they have. One is a binder that has that information all readily and available for them, utility costs and all that. As well, they will have a flyer. That way, if that buyer has gone through and looked at several homes, they can walk away with something tangible in their hands, a piece of paper that sticks out and just allows their mind to be touched one more time by that flyer. And then the third thing that we want is that when that agent walks through the home, that they're actually going to point out those different invisible features to make them visible about the kitchen or about the living room. They're not going through and saying, hey, this is the living room. Hey, this is the kitchen. We don't want that. We want them to actually be speaking in more detail about that. So we gather that information from you. Next, we make it super easy for them to get connected to actually book appointments and showings for your house. So in two different ways, this brings security because it allows us to only allow them to have access during certain periods of time. But two, it makes the ease of transitions so much better. So what happens is we pay for a service that allows them to call in to a call center that's open 24/7, and they can call to book an appointment. Then that call center reaches out to you, whether it's via email, text message, or phone call, whatever you want it to be. We'll set it up, and then you can say yes, come at this time, no, don't come at this time, or reschedule for a different time. And that way, that transition is easy. It'll also notify us both of who's actually coming to look at it and at what time frame, and that will keep a record. It's great for the agent and great for us because it makes it easy for them to get access to your home. And again, we can set up detailed specifications as far as, do we want a 2-hour, 4-hour notice, or is it just a go and show, okay? Next after that is really where I feel like the big value comes in. And that's when we reach out to the yard with the yard sign, or we try to focus on the friends or the relatives and neighbors, okay? Now, what we do here is what we call circle prospecting. So we'll take the closest 100 neighbors or plus some in your area, and we pay for a system that allows us to call all of them. And we call them roughly around 5 times during your listing. So one before your listing goes on the market, and that's to let them know, so they're privileged to the information of their neighbor's house being sold, coming on the market. Second, we tell them when it actually becomes active, and so then they know that they can send it, and if they can or want to know more information, we can redirect them to a link. Then third, when it goes under contract, letting them know that we do have it under contract. However, we're still accepting backup offers if they still have someone available. Fourth, we do it when it actually sells and let them know that this new neighbor is coming in, and let them know that you're leaving the neighborhood. And then fifth, we do it for open houses, and we talk more about this later, but we let them know in advance that we're doing an open house. That way, if they do have friends, family, or relatives, or coworkers that want to be in this neighborhood or this location, that they can come on and visit us at the open house. And then after that, like I said, is the open house. So it takes us about a week and a half to prepare for an open house. And if you want us to do this, we would be more than happy to do it. We average about 30 to 40 people to come through an open house each time. And basically the reason why is because the amount we do, we try to make it an event. So we put more than just one sign in the yard, and we put it for more than one day. We put it for 3 or 4 days out. We pass out flyers. We do that circle prospecting and calling them, inviting the neighbors, a minimum of 100 of them. Before the morning of, we'll remind everyone by calling them and letting them know. And then we will have people come in, and it's actually very secure. We have them sign in through our iPad, and we won't let them walk through the home unless they sign in through the iPad. That way we, one, know who's coming through, and two, we can then follow up with them if they do want to make an offer on the home. Does that make sense? Okay. Then to talk to you just on the close of things, we want to offer a great customer service experience, okay? And so the biggest complaint that we see that agents get is they listed the home and I never heard from them again, and I don't know what they did. Well, we pay into a system that allows us to set you up to see exactly what we're doing and to see what we've done that day for you. And so every day it'll send you an email saying what we've done for you and how we're going to list your home or sell your home. Then second is what we've already talked about, is streamlining that process to get showings into your home and to secure your home, that we know who is coming in and out of your home, okay? So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go into the numbers and see where we are from there. Does that sound good to you? Great.